All right, so what do you have going on in your life you want to share with the Bert Show here? Send us an email, because in this one, she spent the last 7 years feeling all guilty about stealing from her former employer, and she's wondering, how can I move on here? So if you got something this juicy, hit us up at thebertshow.com. Mo's got the email.
To everybody on the Bert Show who has ever made a mistake.
That's all of us.
That covers us all?
Everyone.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. I get it. We all make mistakes, but mine is a doozy. I know that because it happened years ago, and it still haunts me to this day. That's where I need your help. How do I forgive myself and move on? 7 years ago, when I was a recent college graduate, I stole about $4,000 from my employer. I was fired for this action, and the police were called to investigate. I lawyered up, and since there was relatively little evidence, the matter was dropped. The right lawyer can work wonders. I have never admitted the theft to anyone. I have maintained with my family and friends that while I was a bad employee and deserved to be fired, I did not commit a crime. I know that this is not true and have always felt very guilty about being a dishonest person. I've moved on professionally and financially. I'm actually a teacher now, got married, and have a baby on the way. I do my best to be a good person now, but I still cannot shake the feelings of guilt over this incident. I can't seem to move on mentally. The statute of limitations has expired, so I know prison time isn't in my future if I come clean, but I feel like I've been in a mental prison for the last 7 years. Of my own doing, of course. How can I move on emotionally from this incident and how this one grave mistake influences how I see myself today? Please, please, please keep me anonymous. Ridded with guilt.
I'm always, in cases like this, reminded of the Les Brown quote that if you're still beating yourself up for something you did in your past, but you have changed, if that same situation arose today, would you handle it differently? And if so, then you are keeping an innocent person hostage, meaning that that's not even you anymore.
Got it.
Right? That's not even you.
It's the exact quote I thought about.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know.
I think it's interesting the part of the email where it says, I stole about $4,000 and then later says, I did not commit a crime. I just wonder if that's maybe like your subconscious trying to convince yourself that what you did was fine. Whereas
she's not saying she didn't commit a crime. She just said she told her she
maintained that.
She maintained that she did not commit a crime with her family.
Oh, I misread that. Yeah. I'm with y'all. Like, you got to be able to move on. And if it makes you feel better, I know anytime I have like a guilty conscience, just going back and doing the right thing. Like maybe you drop off $4,000 at your old employer and maybe that's enough to put your conscience to bed, knowing that you somehow made it right in some way.
Instead of giving that $4,000 to your old employer, as chairwoman of the board of Bert's Big Adventure, we will gladly clear your conscience with a $4,000 donation.
Kristen is joking, but that might be a way to do it if it's not us, it's somebody. You know, like giving $4,000 and getting that dirty money out of your hands and giving it to somebody that really needs it might help your conscience. But you can't run away from you, man, as long as you want to. You can run as fast as you're going to end up running into yourself.
And you're a teacher, and we know teachers are severely underpaid, so you probably can't shell out just, $4,000 out your back pocket, but maybe just do like a recurring payment to a charity that takes a little bit out every single month and make it like your own little conscious clearing payment plan.
I mean, she is a teacher, so you probably know how to steal from the school in order to give back to the former employer.
Oh, wow.
Just brainstorm.
As an overthinker, I completely get this feeling. I think about all of the mistakes I've made from yesterday to 20 years ago to in between. So I completely get it. I think it is one of those things where you just got to do right. You got to do right by yourself and by other people. And just remember that everyone makes mistakes. And so long as you're trying to correct that, that's all you can do. You got to let yourself get over it.
And hopefully it feels a little better coming clean to us. And I think hopefully admitting what you did and to be able to shed a little bit of that guilt by telling somebody helps. And I would recommend, if you can afford it, or if you can, go to betterhelp.com, get yourself a therapist and tell them, because they're not allowed to tell anybody.
At some point or another, you really do have to answer to yourself. But this here feels like this one infraction in your life you're allowing to define who you are, and that's not who you are. You made a mistake, and you have to move on for it. But now it seems like she's defining herself as this kind of crook.
It's not who you are. It's what you did. So you have to be able to separate those two.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You are what you do consistently, not what you did that one time that you made a mistake.
Yeah, I can't think of any better advice than give the 4K away to somebody else and move on, man, because you wouldn't do it again.
Yeah.
You're not that same person.
The Bert Show.
So, first, thanks for watching. Second, you like what you just watched? That just scratches the surface. Get the Bert Show on any podcast platform. We're so good.